I'm sure I can't be the only one who's severely in the mood for Halloween and for fall here at the end of August 2020. So I decided I'd go ahead and kick off the Halloween season. I pulled out my candy corn sweater early today. I put on some black lipstick for this video, and we're gonna talk about horror. As far as I'm concerned, horror movies are like the only kind of movie there is. I am currently going through all the Friday the 13th movies because I've never seen all of them before. So I just finished part 5 the other day and I'm making progress. And today's video is going to be unpopular horror opinions. This is a video that Sarah Hawkinson did last year, I think. And I wanted to do one and I wrote it down a long time ago and now I'm finally filming it. So with that, let's jump into my unpopular horror opinions. First of all, cheesy stuff, campy, slasher, low budget, fake stuff is awesome. And it drives me crazy when people say, that wasn't even scary. Like, that's not always the point. And it also drives me crazy when people be like, that is so fake. 80s movies, 80s horror, awesome. I wouldn't say I have a favorite era, but people often refer to the 80s when they're like saying that it's bad, right? Like, oh, it's like an 80s horror movie. Well, in my opinion, that's a compliment. Okay, my next unpopular opinion is sex scenes in horror movies seems extremely unnecessary, and I don't understand why it's really a staple in the majority of them. It's just, I don't see how the two go together. You know what I mean? Like, how did we get here? My next unpopular opinion is like, I wouldn't say I don't really like gore, but I would say I don't like prolonged torture, like really graphic torture. Some gore is just like really, really beautifully done and well done and creative and all of that. And you know, watching Jason, I really like how all the deaths are very quick. Some of them are very graphic, but it's always very quick. And there's not torture and like prolonged suffering going on. Not saying that I get like triggered by that, but it's just kind of like not my cup of tea. Personally, I prefer things that are a little more campy or just straight up supernatural, like demons. You know, and I used to try to like Saw. It's almost like I tried to like Saw because everyone else liked it and it was just important. And it was important. And it is cool that that was like my high school years is when Saw was like taking over the horror world. But now I really don't have an interest. I don't really care to watch that. Another unpopular opinion, which I kind of already touched on, is it doesn't have to be scary to be good. At some point, nothing's gonna scare you. If you watch enough horror movies, nothing's gonna scare you. So I hate when people will say, that movie wasn't good, it wasn't scary. I mean, I know everyone's looking for different things, but that's not what makes a horror movie good. Like, don't be so single-minded. My next unpopular opinion, I hate when horror movies also make you feel sad. Like when there's a really terrible tragedy. I think about Pet Sematary. I think about Pumpkinhead. I think about Dark Night of the Scarecrow, where it's like something really, really freaking sad happens, and it just like, I don't understand why they want to make me really, really sad and then make me scared. I just, again, I don't really see why those two go together. I think about other movies that came to mind are An American Haunting, the movie like based on the Bell Witch, but it has this terrible abuse understory that's really, really, really sad. And then I think about Haunting in Connecticut. I know it's based on a real situation, but A Haunting in Connecticut where one of the kids in the house is also going through cancer, and that's really, really sad. And it's like, I don't know, when you're watching a horror movie, you're supposed to get scared in like a delightful way, like an entertaining way, but I am not entertained by tragedy and just like really, really sad stuff, and I don't like when they're put together in a film like that. Like Dark Night of the Scarecrow would have been like one of my favorite movies, but I just can't handle the opening situation because it's too freaking sad. If I want to be sad, I will watch a Lifetime movie. I don't want to watch A Haunting in Connecticut and cry, you know? Oh my god, and then another, okay, spoiler alert for the Strangers one. This is a perfect example. When the guy and the girl shoot their friend because they think their friend is the intruder, that's devastating. That's not fun. That's terrible. Another unpopular opinion, and I know everyone would say, oh, I totally agree, but you don't. You people watch this stuff. I don't like movies with assault. Assault. I call it grape. I don't like movies with grape in them. No, I just won't do it. And I don't see why anyone thinks it's a good idea to put that in a movie. Even if there's revenge at the end, I am not into it. Another unpopular opinion, actually, after hanging out on Rotten Tomatoes, it seems like it's not unpopular. I don't really dig Rob Zombie movies. This is the first time my cat has ever played with that toy, and it's while I am filming. I did just watch Lords of Salem, which was like pretty cool, but like generally I'm just not attracted to Rob Zombie movies, not interested in them. Like none of them has really just stayed with my heart. Another unpopular opinion is that I really like slow burns. I like a good slow burn. House of the Devil was a good one that I saw recently. I think of slow burns like Paranormal Activity. I feel like no other movie, no other genre will really capture just the smallest details of a person's life. You know, the way you might watch someone fix themselves a cup of tea and slowly walk to the window and just stare out the window, and you kind of get lost in that, and then that's when something jumps out at you or whatever. But I really like how it will closely capture the most subtle moments in life, that the things that you can relate to. Anyway, like people get bored with slow burns, but I really like them because I also like the ambience that comes with movies and music and games and everything. I like when you can just stop and breathe it in. Okay, I was trying to think of like some unpopular opinions like with specific movies, but I don't really know what a lot of other people's opinions are. I will tell you I really hated Hereditary, but that is one of those films like I was telling you about that makes you feel really deeply sad. And when I wrote this list, it was right after I saw Del Toro's Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. And the whole world was like, this movie's awesome. And I didn't like it at all. I thought it was really stupid. So that was an unpopular opinion that might not even be relevant now. Another unpopular opinion is hype really turns me off sometimes. Like, it's really, really off-putting. I haven't even seen the It remake part 2 because everyone was so annoying. Is it just me? Like, I just am really off-put when people don't shut up. Personally, I'm drawn to these, like when I'm scrolling through lists or, you know, browsing in libraries, I'm like, the thing I've never heard of before. I've never heard anyone say that this title. Like, that's the stuff I want to watch. The stuff that's like low budget, obscure, forgotten in time. Like, those are the films that I am gravitating towards. Now, I do understand there's real importance in the classics and the most popular and everything, which is why I'm going through all the Friday the 13th movies, but I just get like sparkles in my eyes when I see something that just looks so obscure and forgotten in time. And I guess the last unpopular opinion is that I'm also not really attracted to black comedies, as in like horror comedies. There's a fine line because I really like the cheesy stuff, and some of the even like intentionally stupid stuff I do like, but when it's like more funny, it's trying to be more funny than it's trying to be scary, I don't know. I guess I'm like a purist? I don't know if you'd say that. Well, there are my current unpopular opinions that I could think of right now. I've made some videos a couple years back of like some of my favorite horror movies and favorite things to watch during Halloween time. Let me know what your favorite horror movie is, especially something that I probably have never heard of before. Happy Halloween, everyone.